Question 1. Which of the following statements best describes the principle of indemnity in insurance? A. It allows the insured to profit from a loss by receiving a payment greater than the actual loss incurred. B. It requires the insurer to provide coverage for any loss, regardless of the circumstances leading to the loss. C. It ensures that the insured is restored to the financial position they were in immediately before the loss occurred. D. It allows for adjustments in the policy limits based on the changing value of insured assets over time. Answer. C. Explanation. The principle of indemnity is fundamental in insurance, ensuring that an insured party is compensated for their loss without profiting from the loss. This principle is essential in maintaining fairness and integrity in insurance transactions. According to the Illinois Insurance Code, the purpose of indemnity is to restore the insured to the financial condition they were in immediately prior to the loss, thus preventing unjust enrichment. Options A and B misrepresent this concept, while D refers to a different concept of adjusting policy limits rather than indemnity. Question 2, scenario-based question. Mr. Thompson, an adjuster, receives a claim from Ms. Ramirez, who has reported damages to her property due to a severe storm. In his investigation, Mr. Thompson finds that there were previous undetected leaks in the roof that contributed to the damage. What is Mr. Thompson's most appropriate course of action regarding the claim? A. Deny the claim based on the pre-existing condition of the leaks. B. Approve the claim in full because the storm was the primary cause of the damage. C. Partial approval of the claim, compensating only for the damage directly caused by the storm. D. Recommend that Ms. Ramirez file a separate claim for the previous leaks under a different policy. Answer. C. Explanation. In claims adjusting, it is vital to distinguish between damages caused directly by the insured event and pre-existing conditions. In this case, while the storm caused damage, the existing leaks are a significant factor that contributed to the overall damage. Mr. Thompson's duty is to evaluate the claim accurately and compensate for only the storm-related damage, which aligns with the principle of indemnity. Denying the claim outright would be inappropriate without evaluating the specifics of the storm's impact. Proving in full B would lead to overcompensation, violating the indemnity principle. Recommending a separate claim D is not necessary and could complicate matters unnecessarily. Question 3. Which of the following best describes the Illinois Department of Insurance's role in regulating the insurance industry? A. To act as a mediator between insurers and policyholders in all disputes. B. To establish standards for insurance policies and oversee the licensing of insurance professionals. C. To guarantee all claims made by policyholders will be paid in full. D. To provide legal representation for policyholders in disputes with insurers. Answer. B. Explanation. The Illinois Department of Insurance, IDOI, plays a crucial role in regulating the insurance industry by setting standards for insurance policies, ensuring compliance with state laws, and overseeing the licensing of insurance professionals, including adjusters. This regulation helps maintain a fair marketplace and protects consumers. Option A is incorrect, as the IDOI does not mediate disputes, it oversees compliance and regulation. Option C is misleading, since the IDOI does not guarantee claim payments and that responsibility lies with the insurers. Option D is also incorrect, as the department does not provide legal representation but rather ensures adherence to laws and standards within the industry. Question 4. In the context of adjusting claims, what is the significance of subrogation? A. It allows an insurer to recover costs from a third party that caused a loss. B. It ensures that the insured can claim multiple times for the same loss. C. It is the process of negotiating claim settlements directly with policyholders. D. It allows insurers to reduce premiums for policyholders who do not file claims. Answer A. Explanation. Subrogation is a critical concept in insurance that enables an insurer to pursue a third party that caused a loss to the insured after it has compensated the insured. This process helps insurers recover losses and ultimately maintain the financial balance of the insurance system. It prevents the insured from being unjustly enriched by receiving both compensation from the insurer and payment from the responsible third party. Option B is incorrect, as subrogation does not relate to multiple claims for the same loss. Option C describes the claim settlement process but does not pertain to subrogation. Option D is misleading. While insurers may offer discounts, this is not related to the subrogation process. Question 5. Which of the following best illustrates a conflict of interest for an insurance adjuster? A. An adjuster reviews a claim and provides an unbiased assessment based on the facts. B. An adjuster has a personal relationship with the insured and provides favorable treatment. C. An adjuster recommends repairs from a contractor they have never worked with before. D. An adjuster attends industry seminars to stay informed about regulations. Answer B. Explanation. A conflict of interest arises when an adjuster has a personal relationship that could influence their professional judgment, leading to biased assessments or favorable treatment of the insured. This situation undermines the integrity of the claims process and can lead to ethical violations. According to the Code of Ethics for Insurance Adjusters, it is essential to maintain impartiality and avoid situations that may compromise professional judgment. Option is easier scenario of ethical conduct, while option C does not inherently represent a conflict unless there is an undisclosed relationship with the contractor. Option D is a positive practice and does not present a conflict of interest. Question 6. What is the primary purpose of consumer protection laws in Illinois insurance regulation? A. To ensure that insurance companies maximize profits. B. To guarantee that policyholders receive the maximum payout possible. C. To provide transparency and fairness in the insurance marketplace. D. To limit the amount of claims that can be filed by policyholders. Answer C. Explanation. Consumer protection laws in the insurance sector are designed to ensure transparency, fairness, and accountability in the marketplace, safeguarding the rights of policyholders. These laws help prevent unfair practices, fraud, and discrimination against consumers, fostering trust between insurers and policyholders. Option A contradicts the purpose of consumer protection laws. Option B is misleading as these laws do not guarantee maximum payouts, so they focus on fairness in claims handling. Option D is incorrect as consumer protection laws do not aim to limit claims but rather to protect consumer rights. Question 7. Which type of evidence is most critical in establishing negligence in a liability claim? A. Witness statements supporting the defendant's version of events. B. Photographic evidence showing the scene of the accident. C. Medical records documenting injuries sustained by the plaintiff. D. Expert testimony on industry standards and practices. Answer D. Explanation. Establishing negligence in liability claims often requires expert testimony to demonstrate that the defendant failed to meet the established industry standards of care. Such testimony can clarify complex issues and help determine whether the defendant's actions fell short of what is expected in a similar situation. While witness statements A, photographic evidence B, and medical records C are important, they may not suffice alone to establish the legal standard of care that constitutes negligence without the context provided by expert testimony. The combination of various evidence types strengthens the overall claim, but expert testimony is critical in negligence cases. Question 8. When an adjuster encounters a situation where a policyholder is uncooperative during a claim investigation, what is the adjuster's best course of action? A. Immediately deny the claim to avoid further complications. B. Document the uncooperativeness and attempt to clarify the reason for the behavior. C. Escalate the issue to the insurer's legal department for further action. D. Ignore the uncooperativeness and proceed with the investigation as best as possible. Answer B. Explanation. The best approach for an adjuster when faced with an uncooperative policyholder is to document the situation thoroughly and seek to understand the underlying reasons for the behavior. Communication is key in claims adjusting, and understanding the policyholder's perspective may lead to resolving misunderstandings or concerns that hinder cooperation. Option is not advisable as denying a claim without sufficient cause can lead to legal repercussions. Escalating the issue C may be premature without first attempting to resolve the matter directly. Ignoring the issue D could lead to incomplete investigations and potential disputes later. Question 9. What must an adjuster consider when assessing property damage in a homeowner's insurance claim? A. The original purchase price of the property and its depreciation. B. The personal belongings of the insured that are unrelated to the damage. C. The cause of loss and the terms of the insurance policy. D. The insured's prior claims history and their impact on current claims. Answer C. Explanation. When assessing property damage, the adjuster must evaluate the cause of loss in relation to the specific terms and conditions outlined in the homeowner's insurance policy. This assessment ensures that the claim aligns with the coverage provided and the specific exclusions or limitations of the policy. Option A may not provide an accurate representation of the current value of the property, as it should consider the replacement cost rather than original purchase price or depreciation. Option B is irrelevant to the property damage assessment unless directly related to the claim. Option D, while important for understanding risk, does not directly impact the evaluation of the specific claim at hand. Question 10. In Illinois, what is required for an insurance policy to be considered valid and enforceable? A. The policy must be signed by the insured and the insurer. B. The policy must contain a clear description of covered risks and exclusions. C. The policy must be issued by a licensed insurance company in Illinois. D. The policy must include a minimum coverage limit as established by state law. Answer B. Explanation. For an insurance policy to be valid and enforceable in Illinois, it must include a clear description of the covered risks, exclusions, and the conditions under which the coverage applies. This clarity ensures that both the insurer and the insured understand their rights and obligations under the contract, while options and C are generally true in the context of formalities. They do not capture the essence of policy validity as effectively as option B. Option D, while relevant to certain types of insurance, e.g., auto insurance, is not a blanket requirement for all insurance policies in Illinois. Question 11. When adjusting a bodily injury claim, which of the following factors is least likely to influence the settlement amount? A. The severity and permanence of the injury. B. The medical expenses incurred by the claimant. C. The age and health of the claimant prior to the injury. D. The personal preferences of the claims adjuster. Answer D. Explanation. The settlement amount in a bodily injury claim is primarily influenced by objective factors such as the severity of the injury, A. The medical expenses incurred, B. And the claimant's prior age and health status, C. Personal preferences of the claims adjuster, D. Should not affect the settlement amount, as claims adjusting is meant to be an impartial process based on evidence and applicable laws. Adjusters are required to follow guidelines and practices that minimize subjective biases in claim assessments. Question 12. What is the primary function of the Illinois Department of Insurance in relation to insurance adjusters? A. To provide legal representation for adjusters in court. B. To establish standards for the practice of insurance adjusting. C. To determine the outcome of all claims submitted by policyholders. D. To offer insurance products directly to consumers. Answer B. Explanation. The primary function of the Illinois Department of Insurance is to establish and enforce standards for the practice of insurance adjusting, ensuring that adjusters operate within the legal framework and adhere to ethical guidelines. This includes regulating licensing, overseeing practices, and protecting consumer rights. Option is incorrect because the department does not provide legal representation. Option C is misleading, as the department does not determine claim outcomes, and that responsibility lies with insurers and adjusters. Option D is also incorrect, as the department does not sell insurance products. Question 13. In the context of workers' compensation claims, what is the significance of a disability benefit? A. They are paid to cover the medical expenses of the injured worker only. B. They are determined by the employer's policy rather than state regulations. C. They provide financial support to workers who cannot perform their job due to a work-related injury. D. They are only available to workers who have been employed for over a year. Answer C. Explanation. Disability benefits in workers' compensation provide financial support to employees who are unable to work due to an injury or illness sustained in the course of employment. These benefits are essential for maintaining the injured worker's income during their recovery period. Option is incorrect, as disability benefits cover lost wages and not just medical expenses. Option B is misleading. While employer policies may influence certain benefits, state regulations primarily govern workers' compensation. Option D is false, as benefits are available to all eligible employees regardless of their tenure, as long as they meet the necessary criteria. Question 14. Which of the following statements about the Illinois insurance regulation concerning unfair trade practices is accurate? A. Insurers may not engage in misleading advertising to promote their products. B. Insurers are allowed to provide discounts for certain high-risk individuals. C. Insurers can deny coverage based on the insured's race or gender. D. Insurers are required to publicly disclose all claims denied. Answer A. Explanation. In Illinois, unfair trade practices regulations prohibit insurers from engaging in misleading or deceptive advertising practices. This ensures that consumers receive truthful information about insurance products and are not misled about the terms or benefits. Option B is misleading. While insurers can offer discounts, they cannot discriminate against high-risk individuals unfairly. Option C is incorrect, as discrimination based on race or gender in insurance practices is prohibited by law. Option D is also inaccurate. While insurers must provide reasons for claim denials, they are not universally required to publicly disclose all denied claims. Question 15. When an adjuster determines that an insured's property damage is partially attributable to the insured's negligence, what principle is being applied? A. Contributory negligence. B. Assumption of risk. C. Comparative negligence. D. Vicarious liability. Answer. C. Explanation. Comparative negligence is a legal doctrine that allows for the allocation of fault among parties involved in an accident or loss when property damage is partially due to the insured's negligence. The adjuster can reduce the settlement amount in proportion to the insured's degree of fault. Option A. Contributory negligence is a more stringent standard that can bar recovery entirely if the claimant is found to be at fault. Option B. Assumption of risk refers to situations where a person knowingly engages in risky activities. Option D. Vicarious liability involves holding one party responsible for the actions of another, which is not applicable in this context. Question 16. If an insured property sustains damage from a covered peril and the insurer denies the claim based on a policy exclusion, what should the adjuster ensure before finalizing the claim denial? A. That the insured has no prior claims history. B. That the policy exclusion is clearly stated and understood by the insured. C. That the insured has paid all premiums on time. D. That the damage occurred outside of the policy period. Answer. B. Explanation. Before finalizing a claim denial based on a policy exclusion, the adjuster must ensure that the exclusion is explicitly stated in the policy and that the insured is aware of it. Clear communication about the policy terms and exclusions is essential to maintain transparency and prevent disputes. Option A is not relevant to the justification of the exclusion. Option C, while important for policy validity, does not pertain to the applicability of exclusions. Option D would relate to a different type of policy issue and not specifically to the grounds for exclusion. Question 17. What is the primary purpose of the insurance principle of indemnity? A. To ensure that the insured profits from a loss. B. To provide full replacement value for all property. C. To restore the insured to the financial position they were in prior to the loss. D. To minimize the insurer's liability in the event of a claim. Answer. C. Explanation. The principle of indemnity is designed to restore the insured to their pre-loss financial position without allowing them to profit from the insurance payout. This principle is fundamental to insurance, ensuring fairness and equity in the claims process. Option is incorrect as it contradicts the purpose of indemnity. Option B is misleading. Indemnity does not guarantee full replacement value unless specified in the policy. Option D misrepresents the principle's intent, which is to compensate the insured fairly rather than minimize liability for the insurer. Question 18. During the claims process, an adjuster finds evidence that suggests fraud may have occurred. What is the adjuster's best course of action? A. Immediately deny the claim without further investigation. B. Document the findings and escalate the matter to the insurer's fraud unit. C. Confront the insured about the evidence directly. D. Settle the claim to avoid potential legal issues. Answer. B. Explanation. If an adjuster suspects fraud during the claims process, the best course of action is to document the evidence thoroughly and report it to the insurer's fraud unit for further investigation. This approach ensures that the issue is handled by experts trained in dealing with potential fraudulent activity, maintaining the integrity of the claims process. Option is incorrect as rushing to deny a claim without a comprehensive review could lead to legal complications. Option C is not advisable as direct confrontation could escalate the situation unnecessarily. Option D undermines the principle of maintaining ethical standards and could expose the insurer to further liability. Question 19. What must an adjuster consider when evaluating damages in a total loss auto claim? A. The age of the vehicle and its previous accident history. B. The cost of repairs versus the actual cash value of the vehicle. C. The personal preferences of the vehicle owner regarding settlement. D. The length of time the vehicle was owned by the insured. Answer. B. Explanation. In a total loss auto claim, the adjuster must evaluate whether the cost to repair the vehicle exceeds its actual cash value ACV. If repairs exceed the ACV, the vehicle is typically deemed a total loss, and the insurer will compensate the insured for the ACV of the vehicle, not the repair costs. Option is relevant but does not directly impact the total loss determination. Option C is irrelevant as personal preferences should not influence the objective evaluation of damages. Option D does not affect the valuation of the vehicle in terms of loss assessment. Question 20. An adjuster is assessing a claim for property damage caused by a natural disaster. What is the first step the adjuster should take in this scenario? A. Begin estimating the repair costs immediately. B. Review the insurance policy to determine coverage for natural disasters. C. Interview the insured about their loss experiences. D. Document the disaster's impact on neighboring properties. Answer. B. Explanation. The first step an adjuster should take when assessing a claim for property damage from a natural disaster is to review the insurance policy to understand the coverage and exclusions that apply. This review is essential to ensure that the claim aligns with the terms of the policy before proceeding with evaluations or interviews. Option A may lead to incorrect estimations if coverage is not applicable. Option C is important but should follow the policy review. Option D provides useful context but is secondary to verifying the specifics of the insurance coverage first. Question 21. Which of the following best describes subrogation in the context of insurance? A. The insurer's right to cancel a policy after a claim is filed. B. The insured's responsibility to report a claim within a certain time frame. C. The insurer's right to pursue recovery from a third party responsible for a loss. D. The process of adjusting a claim by multiple adjusters. Answer. C. Explanation. Subrogation is the legal right of an insurer to pursue recovery from a third party that caused a loss to the insured. This process allows the insurer to recoup the costs it paid out on a claim by seeking damages from the responsible party. Option A is incorrect because subrogation does not relate to cancelling a policy. Option B is misleading, and while timely reporting is important, it is not the definition of subrogation. Option D is not relevant, as subrogation specifically refers to the insurer's recovery rights, not the claims adjustment process. Question 22. What must an adjuster do if they discover a misrepresentation in an insurance application during the claims process? A. Approve the claim without consideration of the misrepresentation. B. Notify the insured that their claim will be denied due to the misrepresentation. C. Document the misrepresentation and refer the matter to the insurer for further review. D. Ignore the misrepresentation if the claim is valid otherwise. Answer. C. Explanation. If an adjuster uncovers a misrepresentation in an insurance application during the claims process, they must document their findings and refer the issue to the insurer for further review. This step ensures compliance with legal and ethical standards in handling the claim. Option is inappropriate as it ignores the implications of misrepresentation. Option B may be premature without proper review by the insurer. Option D is unethical and could lead to legal repercussions for the insurer. Question 23. In Illinois, what is the primary purpose of the notice of claim requirement? A. To inform the insurer about the specifics of the claim being filed. B. To allow the insurer to investigate the claim before it is formally filed. C. To establish a timeline for payment of claims. D. To notify the insured about their policy coverage limits. Answer. Explanation. The primary purpose of the notice of claim requirement is to inform the insurer about the specifics of the claim being filed. This notice is crucial for initiating the claims process and allows the insurer to start its investigation and assessment. Option B is misleading. The notice does not serve as a pre-claim investigation tool. Option C is incorrect. While timelines may be discussed, the notice primarily serves to report the claim. Option D does not relate directly to the claim filing process. Question 24. When calculating actual cash value, CV, for property damage, which of the following methods is typically used? A. Replacement cost minus depreciation. B. Fair market value at the time of loss. C. The insured value specified in the policy. D. The cost of repairs, regardless of depreciation. Answer A. Explanation. The typical method for calculating actual cash value (SCV) is to take the replacement cost of the property and subtract depreciation. This calculation reflects the property's current value, taking into account its age and condition at the time of the loss. Option B may be applicable in some contexts, but SCV is generally derived from the replacement cost method. Option C is incorrect because the insured value may not reflect the actual cash value at the time of loss. Option D is misleading. While repair costs are considered, they do not directly equate to ACV. Question 25. What is the significance of an exclusion in an insurance policy? A. It defines the coverage limits for the policyholder. B. It specifies what is not covered under the policy. C. It outlines the procedures for filing a claim. D. It lists the parties covered by the insurance. Answer: B. Explanation. An exclusion in an insurance policy specifies what is not covered under the policy. Understanding exclusions is vital for both the insurer and the insured, as it helps clarify the scope of coverage and avoids misunderstandings during the claims process. Option A relates to coverage limits but does not define exclusions. Option C is unrelated to exclusions as it pertains to claim procedures. Option D addresses covered parties rather than exclusions. Question 26. In Illinois, which of the following practices would be considered an unfair claims settlement practice? A. Failing to acknowledge a claim within a reasonable time frame. B. Offering a lower settlement amount than the original claim. C. Conducting a thorough investigation of the claim. D. Settling a claim without requiring a signed release. Answer A. Explanation. Failing to acknowledge a claim within a reasonable time frame constitutes an unfair claims settlement practice. Insurers are required to respond to claims promptly to ensure fair treatment of policyholders. Option B may be permissible as long as the settlement is based on the evaluation of the claim. Option C is necessary and not considered unfair. Option D could be acceptable in certain situations. However, obtaining a signed release is generally a standard practice to finalize settlements. Question 27. What does the term duty to defend refer to in liability insurance? A. The insurer's obligation to pay for damages awarded in a lawsuit. B. The insurer's obligation to provide legal defense for the insured in a covered claim. C. The insured's responsibility to provide evidence during the trial. D. The insurer's right to select the legal representation for the insured. Answer: B. Explanation. The term duty to defend refers to the insurer's obligation to provide legal defense for the insured in a lawsuit arising from a covered claim. This duty exists regardless of the merits of the claim and is a fundamental aspect of liability insurance. Option A, while related, pertains to the payment of damages rather than the defense itself. Option C is the insured's responsibility but does not define the duty to defend. Option D is true but incomplete, as the duty to defend encompasses more than just the right to select representation. Question 28. If an adjuster encounters a claim that involves multiple policies covering the same risk, what principle should they apply? A. The principle of indemnity. B. The principle of primary and excess insurance. C. The principle of coinsurance. D. The principle of subrogation. Answer: B. Explanation. When dealing with a claim that involves multiple policies covering the same risk, the adjuster should apply the principle of primary and excess insurance. This principle determines which policy pays first primary and which one pays after the primary policy has exhausted its limits. Excess option refers to the basic insurance principle but does not specifically address multiple policies. Option C pertains to the requirement for insured parties to maintain a certain level of coverage but is not directly relevant to this scenario. Option D relates to the insurer's right to recover costs but does not apply to the coverage of multiple policies. Question 29. What is the role of the adjustment in the insurance claims process? A. It is a negotiation between the insurer and the insured over coverage limits. B. It refers to the calculation of loss and the determination of the settlement amount. C. It is the process of obtaining additional information from witnesses. D. It is the legal framework within which insurance claims are filed. Answer: B. Explanation. The role of the adjustment in the insurance claims process refers to the calculation of loss and the determination of the settlement amount. This includes assessing damages, evaluating coverage, and negotiating settlements. Option A is misleading, and while negotiation may occur, it is not solely defined as adjustment. Option C, while part of the investigation process, does not encompass the entire adjustment role. Option D is incorrect, as the legal framework refers to regulations and laws governing insurance, rather than the adjustment process itself. Question 30. During an investigation of a claim, an adjuster finds that the insured has a history of similar claims. How should the adjuster proceed? A. Automatically deny the claim based on the history. B. Ignore the history and focus only on the current claim. C. Investigate the current claim thoroughly, taking the history into account. D. Contact the insured to ask why they have multiple claims. Answer: C. Explanation. The adjuster should thoroughly investigate the current claim while taking the insured's history of similar claims into account. This history may provide context for the current claim and help identify patterns that could be relevant to the investigation. Option is inappropriate, as claims should not be denied solely based on history without proper evaluation. Option B is not advisable, since historical claims can be pertinent to understanding the current situation. Option D could be part of the investigation but should not be the primary focus over conducting a comprehensive review of the current claim.